name is Gina, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about 3 books that I kind of read at the same time. That was my whole reason for combining them, but yeah. So the first book is Tommie in gesprek by Tommie Niessen. I previously read the author's memoir, which is called Tommie in de zorg. Tommie is a type of nurse. So in his first book, his memoir, I read that last year, I think, which I really liked, and so I decided to pick up this book. This is called Tommie in gesprek, and this is interviews he's done with other people who work in healthcare. I think there are 24 of them, and so he's interviewed 24 people who have various roles in healthcare, or in a couple of cases they are patients, so like clients using the healthcare, if that makes sense. They start off with the same question. He is asking every person, what does care mean for you, or like care, healthcare. I'm translating here, so it's not like a one-to-one exactly, but then the rest of the interview is going differently depending on who he's talking to, if that makes sense. So basically he's asking questions and then the person answers, and each chapter starts with, this is chapter 1, starts with a bit about who this person is, like what is their job or their role. One of the people he also interviewed is the Dutch Minister of Health, or at least he was at the time of reading this book. We had elections in March 2021, which is after this book came out in 2020, so I don't know how things are in the future, but so this was also one of the people he also interviewed is a student who, for her internship, she ended up working in a hospital in I think in English they're called COVID ward. I don't know exactly, but because this was published last year, 2020. But there's various people in here. Some I found more interesting than others. Some spoke to me more than others. It was an interesting read. I will say I'm not sure that I was entirely the target audience for this. I think for people who work in healthcare, this will be more interesting than for me. I don't work in healthcare. I mean I use healthcare when I need it, but I mean so my mum works in healthcare, so I'm not sure that I am entirely the target audience for this. So I enjoyed the author's memoir a bit more, but I did like this, and it's not a book that you just want to read like back to back sort of thing. So what I did was, like, I read a chapter in this, and then I read a chapter in the other 2 books that I'm going to talk about. Sorry, I'm having a bit of hay fever and stuff lately. So yeah, that's how I read it. I do have the author's, oh, it's behind there. I do have the author's, this is his most recent book. This is Kastanjehoofd by Tommie Niessen, and he got help from Loes Waterson to write this. This is kind of a novelization of how he got to work in healthcare. So I look forward to read that. That one was published this year, 2021, so a few months ago. So I wanted to read this first to kind of read them in chronological publication order kind of thing, but I look forward to read this. The next book is I Work at a Public Library by Gina Sheridan. I thought it'd be a good idea to combine these 3 books, but now that I'm looking, and I'm already filming for 6 minutes, so we will see. And it says here, a collection of crazy stories from the stacks, from the stacks. So yeah, this is basically a collection of things that happened to librarians. So not just the author, but also things some people have sent in. And yeah, so that's also not something to just read in one go to me. I like that the book is divided up into chapters based on the system, Dewey Decimal System, because this is American, although not all of the stories are from Americans, but anyway, so yeah, it's just each chapter begins with like a little introduction, and then you have these things that happen. There were a couple I didn't quite understand, I think due to perhaps my not understanding slang or something like that, but yeah, some of it was funny or interesting, or and sometimes I'm just thinking, because some of these people who ask things to librarians, I'm just kind of like, which was the same reaction the librarian had, but yeah, this was an enjoyable read. And the last one is for this video, Het ABC van de Nederlandse gezelligheid by Jaap Bartelds. And I picked this one up. I saw it online for cheap and it sounded interesting. The font is quite big, and it is, so it starts with A, it goes through the whole alphabet, and then per letter it lists a bunch of things from Dutch culture. Some things I really recognized, some things I didn't at all, and some things I thought were a bit, well, I wasn't sure is it racist, or are they trying to point out that racism is wrong? Like, I wasn't sure what they were, because I'm not always good, for example, at detecting sarcasm, so I wasn't sure. Some things are a bit questionable. Aside from that, this was a nice read. And some things are just things that I don't really, so again, I read a bit in this and then the other books, etc. The font is really quite big. I don't know if you can really see that, but maybe not, because but especially considering the size of the book, it reads quickly. So yeah, this was again a nice, not perfect read, but it was. This is a slightly older book as well, but not like really old at all. I don't recall like everything, but yeah. Oh, maybe if you do you sometimes read books like this together, or do you always just read one book at a time? Do you always read multiple books at once? Let me know in the comments down below if you feel like reading a comment. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!